Me today. Today I want to talk about how to plan for all of the days that don't go according to plan. So right now we're all working on our homeschool plans. Maybe some people are done or they think they're done. And we're getting ready to start school pretty soon here, maybe by the end of August or beginning of September. But I just want to talk to you about the reality that's about to set in. And I don't want to be discouraging. I just want to be realistic and encouraging that we're making all these wonderful plans. We have our ideal days mapped out of what we really want the days to look like and feel like and what activities we want to do with our kids. But real life is going to happen, and that's not always going to be the day that we have. It's not always going to be the ideal day. So I want to talk about how we can plan for the days that are less than ideal. Because you know what? When you only plan for the ideal day and then it doesn't happen, you kind of feel like a failure. You kind of feel less successful in your homeschooling. You start having fantasies of putting the kids in school. And I'm not sure that's going to be an option this year. So we really need to hang in. But when you make a plan for those days that are not ideal, maybe plan B, backup plan, whatever you want to call it, you still have a plan and you can stick to that plan and you succeeded. So I think it's really important to have that backup plan or that plan B in place. So the other thing is you're going to start the school year with a good amount of energy. You will have rested this summer, hopefully. Maybe you've done a little bit of work with your kids over the summer so they don't fall behind, but it's not been a really true full school load. And you're going to start with a lot of energy. That energy is going to start to wane a little bit as we get probably to the end of September, and a lot of things that you planned for the beginning of the school year you will have done already, and they would have been really exciting and everything's going great, and then you kind of start to run out of steam, or the kids are really excited and enthusiastic about the brand new curriculum at the start of the school year, and they sort of start to lose steam and get a little cranky. So when that happens, we want to have a plan for all of those things. So I want to talk to you about 4 different plans that we can make today. So we already have been talking about our ideal plan, but I want to talk about the minimum productive plan. So the minimum productive plan is for those days where you have like a half day, but you still need to get a lot of schoolwork done. So you might have a doctor's appointment. You might have a co-op that you go to every single week. Maybe this year, I don't really know what's going to happen. And you might have a field trip that you want to take, but you still want to have a school day. You still want to get the schoolwork done. You want to keep going with your productivity and your learning. And so I call that the minimum productive day. And we've had a couple different variations of minimum productive days. We used to go to a co-op only in the afternoons. Actually, we've done that more than one year, but I had 2 different minimum productive days. So the first year that we were going to our afternoon co-op, in the morning, I always made sure we had morning time. We had our Bible, our hymn, we prayed, I don't know, whatever I talked about last week, we did, I made sure that we did because I felt like that was the most important thing. And then we had math. So we always had morning time and math, and then we would go to co-op. And then last year, my kids were a little bit older, and they were falling behind with their academic schoolwork when we would take those half days to go to our co-op activities. And so I switched it a little bit, and instead of doing the morning time and math and going to our co-op activities, we did all of our academic stuff and then went to our co-op activities. So a little less spiritual on those days, but I had middle schoolers, and I had 2 middle schoolers and 2 fifth graders, and so everybody had a lot of work, and then I had little ones too, and we were falling behind in our work if we didn't do that. So whatever is the minimum productive day for you, come up with that, and on those days when you have something that you need to run to, it doesn't mean that you have no school or nothing got done or you weren't successful. You still got whatever the plan was for that day done, and that's going to make you feel really good. Trust me, you're going to need all of the things that you can get to make yourself feel good and keep your energy and self-esteem up through this school year. And then the next thing I want to talk about are break weeks. So a couple weeks ago, I came and talked to you, and if you missed it, there's a video talking all about taking break weeks or break days, depending how you want to take your breaks and how important they are. And the thing is, even though the break is a break, you still need a plan for the break, because if you don't have a plan, the kids are just running around like wild animals and it becomes less restful than it could be. And you might also be hoping to get some things done during your break day or your break week, your break weekend, whatever it is. And if you don't go get those things done, you start wondering why you took the break in the first place. So I like to have a break plan. So it can be a plan for what the kids need to do during the break week, and then another plan for what mom needs to do during the break week. I'm calling it a break week because we take a week. So that's what I would suggest, is having a break plan and just thinking about it now, setting it aside, and when the break comes up, you just pull it out and see what your plan is for the break. Another thing is have an idea of what you want to do when a day just goes bad. Sometimes there are just bad days. So sometimes the kids are sick if more than one kid is sick. So like if one kid is sick in our house, that's fine. The kid misses school. Sometimes they can do school in bed. If more than one kid is sick, it starts to kind of cause a problem in the house. And if I don't have a plan or some idea of something constructive that we can do for that day, be it a little bit of schoolwork, maybe a read aloud that I do, educational documentaries or educational shows like Wild Kratts just for fun, everything, it gets thrown off a little bit. We sort of forget that it's school, especially if that goes on for more than one day in a row. We forget we're still in the school year. So it's good to have a plan and just a list for like, what do we do when everything is not working? Either everybody's sick or everyone's really, really overtired. Just a little pro tip. I don't like when people say pro tip, but I just said pro tip. I'm not a pro. The day after a holiday, even though it might be a Monday and a school day, everyone is exhausted. I either do my backup plan, I either do my minimum productive day, or my just educational documentaries or educational craft or something like that on those days, or just acknowledge that everyone's going to be overtired and school's going to be tough on that day. If this is your first school year, just know the day back from a holiday, if there's Easter on Sunday, the day after is crazy. And sometimes spring break falls the week before Easter for us, just the way our schedule works out. So then we have school the day after Easter, and it's crazy. The other thing that I think it's very helpful to plan are the celebration days. Like, we want to have fun. We want to have celebration days, and we want to remember to have those days. That's really key for me. Like, I want to remember that there are certain days that I want to do specific things on. So having a plan for what things you want to celebrate. So birthdays, holidays like Columbus Day. I don't know if we celebrate Columbus Day anymore. We're going to still celebrate Columbus Day. But certain days that you want to celebrate something special. The first day of school, the last day of school. I think it's really great to have traditions and to set up what your traditions are going to be. And then and if you want to do special crafts or special celebrations on certain holidays, I think it's great to have that plan in advance, because that holiday or that special event is going to creep up and you're going to completely forget until the morning of, and it's going to be just impossible to pull something off at the last moment. So I have a way that I keep track. I just want to show you for those special academic special days. I want to show you how I keep track of those just year round. I have right here my little system that I'll show you. So it goes in order of celebrations for the year. So this is my Columbus Day celebration packet. And what I do to try to remember to celebrate Columbus Day is I have this this is years old, this bag. It's a 2-gallon bag, and it just says Columbus Day on it, and it has the books that we read, and it has the craft. There's an actual craft in here. And I like to prep all of this stuff ahead of time, because in the moment, so this is a craft that we do for Columbus Day. This is one of 2 crafts. Yeah, here's the one that the kids, we have to have this for lunch every single Columbus Day. It is an orange slice with toothpicks and a little sail in some blue food dye water for Columbus Day. But I keep that all together so that I don't forget to celebrate Columbus Day and have all of my stuff there. The next one in a line is Thanksgiving. I think we're still allowed to celebrate Thanksgiving in America. I'm not sure. We'll find out this year. I'm just kidding. We homeschool. We can do whatever we want. But in here, I keep all of my Thanksgiving books. And I've got, this is our, if you know Mr. Whiskers, if you know Cranberry Thanksgiving, it's one of my books in here. Sorry. It's one of my books in here, Cranberry Thanksgiving. And the recipe for the cranberry bread is in here so that we make this every single year. And then I've got some other Pilgrim books in there. And I keep all of these in a storage crate because I don't want to keep them on the shelf with the other books. We've got Martin Luther King in here. And, oh, this one's not in a bag, but this is our Lent book for Lent. We're not Catholic, but we do a Lent book. And the reason I don't keep all these books on the shelf is because, number one, it's a lot of books. And number two, I will forget about these wonderful holidays and celebrations if they're just in the shelf with all the other books and I don't have everything pulled out. Plus, I like to put the crafts and everything with the book in a 2-gallon Ziploc bag so that, although this guy doesn't have, he's not in a bag, so that we have everything there to celebrate. Here's another one that here's another one, October Reformation Day. I am never going to remember to celebrate Reformation Day unless I have it on my calendar and it's got its own bag and its own book and everything like that. But that's something that we like to celebrate. Sorry, I have a storage crate on the floor with all of my 2-gallon bags in order for the celebrations. But you can plan out ahead of time what days you want to have celebrations. You can plan out the resources that you want to go with them. You can put them in a 2-gallon Ziploc bag, stick them down in a storage bin like that so they don't get lost in a shelf like I do. But it just makes sure that you have those fun days, you have those little bit of different days, because when you homeschool, every day can feel the same. So you want to have a little bit of variation in your schedule, and you want to think about it ahead of time so it actually happens and you don't completely forget. So the last thing that I wanted to talk about, so that was 4 different kind of schedules that are really super simple and easy to put together. It's not like planning the rest of your year and your ideal day. It's your minimum productive day, your break weeks, the days that just go bad, your days gone bad, and your celebration and special event days. That's 4 schedules that I think will really go a long way to making your homeschool feel, number one, unique, a little bit more organized. It'll make you feel like you're not a failure on the days that don't go according to the ideal plan, and everything will just keep moving if you can stick with those. But I wanted to let you know that I have planning pages available now, and the link to the planning pages will be available in the comment section, and if you're watching the replay, in the information, the description of this video. But my planning pages are a little bit different than what you might see online because I include pages that I just talked about. So there is a page for the minimum productive day and for the break weeks and for the days that just go bad, and then for the special events and celebrations, so that you can think those things through, get them down on paper, and just be able to hold on to them. I also have scheduling pages for the other things that I've talked about. If you've caught my planning videos, this is, I think, the 4th one, 3rd or 4th one. And so I have the group learning outline that I was talking about last week when I was talking about making your homeschool a Christian school. There's a way to make group learning, to organize your group learning in there. And then I have a bunch of, there's over 50 planning pages in there. And there's pages just for you, Mom. So sometimes we like something a little bit more feminine, and that's very specifically for us and not for the kids. And I have those in there too, so that you can have a daily checklist for yourself and get yourself nice and organized and look separate from the rest of the kids' stuff. So this is my planner that I use. This is one of there's multiple cover options, and this is my cover. I use a disc-bound system, and I made the cover into this. And then you can see what the pages looks like. Here's our attendance record for this year. Attendance record. And then I have student planner pages that are in with that. Julia, if you go to, I'm so sorry, Julia's asking a question about biblical reading books suggested for an 11-year-old. If you go to my video from last week, Julia, it's called How to Make Your Homeschool a Christian Homeschool, and there's a bunch of resources in the comments. I literally, each comment, I put another resource that you can click on, and you can watch the video and hear what I have to say, because I have an 11-year-old too. So you can see what we do for it. But I also have student planner pages. Can you see that? This is the boy one. If you're constantly looking for boy things that are masculine, my 8th grader designed this. This is blue wood grain. Wood grain is not blue, but it's painted, I guess. There's a lot of girly stuff out there, but there's not a lot of stuff for boys. And then I have a girl set too, student planner. But no problem, Julia. Good luck with that. So that's going to be available in the links. If you have any questions about planning these weird days, throw it into the comments and I will send you a comment back. I am going to be having my last planning video next Friday. I will be on vacation and I'll be doing it from vacation, so we'll see how that goes. But it's the last step that I want to talk about planning, kind of thinking through and visualizing those last little loose ends that you haven't thought of before you actually start the school year. So that's what we're going to be talking about next week. And that's it for today. I kept it nice and short and sweet because I have to run off on vacation. So have a great week, and I'll talk to you next week. See ya.